welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video for you about the top trends that you can thrift right now. I don't have everything on my list here to show you, but the things that I do have, I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of, and then I'll walk through the other stuff that is trending. So I'm going to get started with this Victorian-inspired top. Victorian-inspired tops and Victorian-inspired things in general are a big trend for this winter season. So this is just a high-necked top, and it has a lot of lace, and it has long sleeves which are also lacy. This one's not as great of an example, but things that have more like ruffles towards the top, very high necklines with lots of ruffles around the top here, and then like ruffly sleeves. Those sort of accents are going to be very popular. Mostly we're seeing it in white and black. So there is a trend of more of a darker tone with the Victorian trend, so you could go either way. Next I have chunky knits, which is a classic really like every year, but it's definitely very big this year. This is just an oversized chunky knit sweater. It's a cardigan style, and it has this like button closure up at the top. And this one is a really great color. It's a nice like almost like taupey mocha shade, which I really like. And they're just really cozy. So I've been keeping an eye out for those. Next is leather. Now, I watched the fall and winter runway stuff this year, and there was leather literally like everywhere. People wearing like head to toe leather. Obviously, not everybody has access to actual leather, so I'm going to show you this. Excuse me. This is a faux leather skirt. It's an A-line skirt, and it has some like sort of patchwork almost detailing across it, and it is high-waisted. This is obviously something that's still trending as well, but again, we're seeing leather jackets, leather boots, leather dresses specifically, and leather skirts. On the runway there were a lot of leather skirts that were maxi or midi length, so definitely be keeping an eye out for those. Next, I have I'm going to go over a couple of different styles of jeans, actually, because there is quite a trend for denim in general, but I'm going to go over just some of the ones that I have here. This one happens to be a pair by Zara. These are cropped flares. So this is a trend that we're seeing a ton of. We saw them last season, and they're definitely big still. So how they fit is sort of almost like a straight leg or a boyfriend style jean. They're a little bit less fitted, and then down at the bottom they kind of flare out, but they're cropped. So they make a nice little kind of almost A-line shape right towards the ankle. And then we're seeing people wearing them a lot with ankle length kind of like calf hugging boots. Specifically pointy toe is what I like. But we're seeing them paired with all kinds of different boots. Fun prints would be really cool. They also look really good with heels. So that's another one to watch out for. Next, I'm going to go with Levi's. We're seeing Levi everything as far as denim goes. All the cuts are really still popular. They have high-rise, they have skinny, straight. The 501s are super popular. I do have a pair of those, but I didn't put them in this little pile. But I'm going to start with these ones. These are vintage ones. These are 80s ones, I think. These are the 550 relaxed tapered. So tapered and straight leg denim, still going strong. I generally see more people wearing the lighter shades, so this vintage wash is really popular. Those are super easy to style, and they're really quite easy to pick up thrifting. It's all a matter of trying to figure out what size you are. I always recommend trying them on or making sure you know what your measurements are if you're buying things like that on like Poshmark. So I also have these Levi's. These are the wedgie fit Levi's. These ones are a size 30. The wedgie fit are a button fly like the 501, but they are a straight leg. They're not tapered like those ones. They're like straight all the way down. These ones happen to be really distressed. These ones are actually really great. I wish that they were in my size. I've been like eyeing a pair of these in my size. I'm going to buy some because I really like them. And again, they're a flattering cut. So they sit like right above your ankle, and again they look really good with those tall like calf height boots. Very, very cute. Loving that trend. I love that with like a band t-shirt and a blazer similar to what I have on now. Those look so cool. So covered that. So next I'm going to go into metallics. I only have one thing to show for the metallics portion of trends, this happens to be a pair of slacks that I found. These are a silver metallic slack, and they're really cute, actually. This trend is surprisingly really easy to work into your everyday wardrobe, and it's pretty easy to find because metallics really never go out of style completely. So that's one of those ones that you can always thrift. Metallic tops are really cool. I like metallic skirts as well. We're seeing a lot of like metallic satin skirts. Satin is another kind of like underlining trend as far as like the textures and fabrics go. I do have more info if you guys wanted another video about just in general like the kinds of fabrics and cuts and styles and all that that are in trend right now. This one I just kind of wanted to do more of a what you can find at the thrift store right now kind of video. So the next one is actually maxi skirts. Maxi skirts in general, huge thing. This one happens to tick 2 boxes. This is a maxi skirt with an animal print, which is a huge trend. This one's really cute. It has this little like ruffle at the bottom. And again, this is another one of those things, like it looks beautiful with those calf length boots. Like so cute. Any boots really. It looks great with the tall ones too. I'm seeing a lot of, when I kind of poke around on Pinterest, I'm seeing a lot of like lace-up boots, like the taller sort of Victorian-inspired ones. Again, Victorian trend. So you really could go a lot of ways with those. But animal print definitely, and maxi dresses as well, and maxi skirts. Another top trend. Next, I have this trend, which you probably guessed already, is checkered print. This is a bigger example of check. These are wool shorts. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. They're wool shorts, and this one, these I just picked up because they're good for fall. They're really good for wearing with like tights and boots. Very cute trend as well. But we're seeing on the runway, especially, we saw a lot of like Prince of Wales check still, which is like the smaller check prints. We saw a lot of houndstooth check as well. Those are almost like hexagon shaped checks. So those are something that you can always find in thrift stores because, again, that's one of those things that's very classic. They never go out of style. People get rid of like older ones and update with new, but those vintage ones are really awesome. They're really well made, and they're definitely in trend right now and wearable. So the next trend I have is 1970s. This just happens to be a 70s inspired dress that I had. This one is by American Eagle. It has the bell sleeve, and then it has this sort of like A-line bell at the bottom, and then the length is pretty like mini. So that's another thing for like the 1970s. They wore a lot of like mini dresses with really tall boots. A lot of like I think like earth tones, like browns and oranges and yellows. A lot of like avocado shade green. All of those things are very trendy. So anything like that is going to be right on point for that 1970s trend. I just have a couple more. So this one is mustard yellow. Mustard yellow is a super big trend. This just happens to be a sweater by Philosophy. This one is a batwing sweater, which is really cute, and it's slightly, I think it's slightly cropped, yeah. So this one just happened to be the best example. I've been picking up yellow things like every chance I get because they're selling really well. So that's really an easy trend to fit into your wardrobe too. That sort of mustard color goes really well with a lot of skin tones and hair types. So that one's, I think, really easy, and you can find it in just about like any cut or style. Any cut or style. So, and then the last one that I have examples for is animal print, which I kind of already showed you, but I'm going to show you this as well. This is sort of more of a muted animal print. This is just a J. Crew sweater, and again, I really, really like animal print. It's kind of like a neutral at this point. We see it everywhere. It comes back every couple of years, so it's one of those ones you can invest in a piece, and then it kind of can just stay in your wardrobe. I'm seeing a lot of animal print shoes specifically this year, which is really a cute trend. I really like that. But so those are all the ones that I had examples for, and then I'm just peeking over at my notes here. We're seeing a lot of hats, specifically bucket style hats, even though those aren't my favorite. Those are a huge trend. They were really big in the 90s and early 2000s, so it's really no surprise they're coming back because 90s has kind of been floating around for a while now. So we're seeing tons of those. Capes and ponchos, super big on the runways. That's another trend that, like, I think it's fairly easy to work into your wardrobe, even though it might be something slightly out of our comfort zone. They're really warm if you get a nice one. They have some that are really very pretty. They have like really beautiful cuts. And then there's like more of a bohemian style where they got like knits. So I think those are really easy to find at your thrift stores as well. Again, that's one of those trends that comes back every so many years, and it's also hitting a trend for the 1970s as well. So that's a really good one to look for. And then dark florals, which that 1970s dress was also kind of hitting two things. That's a dark floral as well. We saw a lot of different kinds of florals on the runway. So you saw really dark, like black heavy florals. There was a lot of like what they called moody florals, which were really dark and kind of like sparse. And then obviously your regular florals are always in, but specifically for fall and winter, we're seeing a lot of dark ones. So I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry, guys. I keep like going in and out with my voice. And then I had trench coats. Trench coats, super popular. That's another classic, really. You really can't go wrong with a trench coat, but we're seeing a lot of long coats in general, whether they be made out of like wools or heavier fabrics like that. A lot of like pistachio colored green things as well. I know that the mustard is the official shade, but a lot of the runway was using greens and also purple. So, and specifically that lilac shade of purple. And then, let's see what else I had. Oh, wide legs and flared jeans. I didn't have any examples because all of mine have been selling. As soon as I pick them up, they're selling. So, that's another huge trend. And that, again, it's one of those classics that comes back every so many years. It checks that 1970s box. So, they're really flattering as well. If you get a high-waisted pair, they really skim your body very well, especially if you have more of a pear shape like I do. They kind of like balance you out really well. So, and then they're really fun too. Like you can really wear them with a lot of things. So, let's see. I did leather. Oh, mini bags. Mini bags were another big runway thing. I don't have any mini bags to show you guys right now, but for some reason on the runway they were like really mini, like very small. I mean, those are really not very practical, but like, you know, mini bags that are just like smaller handbags or like bags that you would carry your like cards in and stuff like that, those are very popular and they are selling. So even though they might not be super practical, they are really cute. So that's another trend that you can find at your thrift store because the 90s was one of those decades that had tons of mini bags. So, and then lastly, let's cover, I had two more things. I have faux fur coats, still very big. We're seeing them in long line now instead of cropped. So again, really warm, very comfortable, very easy to style. They look great with just about any outfit. So those are a really big one, really easy to do. And a ton of them in thrift stores. You can even find real fur in the thrift stores if you are okay with that, if that's something you want to do. And they're really good quality. They last you forever. So those are really good. And then another color trend, which is really big, is brown. We're seeing a lot of shades of brown, specifically like monochrome versions. So people were wearing like different shades of the same kind of tone of brown all at once. And that's a really cute style. I really like that look. I personally don't do good pulling it off unless it's like all black. But it's definitely one of those ones that's very easy to find at your thrift stores. You can go in there and literally pick out one shade of brown and then go through the aisles and find other things that are that like same color palette. So really easy to do. Again, also hitting that 1970s trend as well. So, because there was a lot of brown in the 1970s. So, I think that's all I have for you guys today as far as this video goes. I know that I have been kind of missing for the last month or so. We did move, and I was kind of trying to get my office underway here. I've kind of been organizing. You've probably noticed by now at the end of the video that this is a different setup than before. So there is that. And then I do have more videos in store for you guys. I'm going to be trying to upload once a week. I have a couple of hauls lined up that I'm going to actually be shooting. So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!